Hi, this is Robyn Beazley from the Living an Amazing Life blog at robynbeazley.com. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I am here for day 28 of the 30-day challenge. That's right, we're almost done this exciting journey. If you're still following or if you're just joining us, welcome. I hope that this is a little bit exciting for you. Today's topic is the last year, or I should say this year, in great detail. So I'm going to go back 1 year from today, or roughly, and I'm just going to highlight every month. I had to giggle because going back through, I've made a list because that's a long time to have to remember everything. And as I was going through it, many of the things that I remember or that I'm going to share with you are very travel related. And that's funny because it's definitely one of my hobbies. Love to travel. John and I love to explore the world together. So it's kind of funny that the majority of the things are travel related. So just about almost a year ago, we took a spontaneous road trip on the September long weekend. We jumped in the vehicle with absolutely no idea where we were going to go. And we just drove, and I believe we took a toothbrush and maybe a change of underwear. That sounds kind of crazy, but we just jumped in the car and went. And we started off in Waterton at the National Park in southern Alberta. And then we crossed into the United States and decided to go to Whitefish, Kalispell area. I absolutely love it there. It is definitely one of my favorite places to go. If I could have a place, or when I have a second home somewhere, that would definitely be high on my list. So we took a spontaneous trip there. It was lots of fun. And in the month of September last year, me and another teammate from Arbonne, we went to our national conference in Vancouver. So we went to our Canadian conference and got to see some amazing women that are in the business and just get motivated, and some great training, awesome recognition, and it was great to see the city just before the Olympics happened. And last October, John and I celebrated our 3rd wedding anniversary, and we took a date in Red Deer, of all places. My sister had gifted us with tickets, or I guess the experience to go to a ski spa in Red Deer, and so we took advantage of that and used it for our anniversary. And we also went to a restaurant called Redstone, and John had taken a wine sommelier course earlier in the spring. I think it was then, maybe it was almost a year before that. And anyhow, he met the manager of that restaurant. So it was really fun to go there. It was a funny night that we ended up going there. Their entire kitchen wasn't working that night, so we were the only people in the entire restaurant for our entire couple hours there. It was really cool. So it was almost like we had our own private sitting, and we had everything: appetizers, wine. I believe we spent the night in Red Deer that evening. I can't remember all the details, but it was our 3rd anniversary, so that was great. In November, I took a trip up to Farm Fair to Edmonton, to the cattle show. My parents were exhibiting livestock, or my parents and my brother and his sister-in-law, or my sister-in-law, and so I got to see some awesome friends there, and then actually stopped back in Red Deer where John was working at the time, and we had a big dinner festival with some friends there also. So November was kind of getting to see some friends at some events. December, we traveled to Texas for Christmas. We'd been alternating back and forth every year, so it was fun to go south of the line for that. In January, we actually were so lucky that we got to go to Mexico with John's company. It was for their annual meetings, and spouses were invited, so we're very, very spoiled. And it was an amazing, we extended it a couple days so that we had a couple days before just the two of us. Well, we were surrounded by co-workers, but it was awesome to get some, a little bit extra time in Mexico. So that was wonderful. In February, we decided to take again, another spontaneous road trip. We love these. I was actually wanting to go to Great Falls, Montana, and so we actually connected with some friends of ours, and we road tripped down and stayed the night. We weren't planning on it, but we did, and so that was lots of fun. And we actually decided on that trip to Great Falls that we would take a trip with this couple, and that was because John and the lady from the other couple really wanted to see Seattle. So Dan and I decided that, yeah, we could go along with this trip of these two. So it was fun to kind of brainstorm about taking this adventure together, which we took a couple months after. I'll mention that in a minute. Just after we came back from Great Falls, I had gotten my hair chopped right off. Kind of a traumatic experience. Thank goodness my sister was able to save the day. I normally don't veer from my sister, but she it just didn't work with my timeline of what was going on. I was busy doing some things down in southern Alberta and didn't think I was going to have a chance for her to do it. So she ended up fixing it. I was very lucky. And so took in my parents' bull sale in February also. The beginning of March, my sister and 4 of our friends, hers and then I guess a couple mutual friends, we took a trip to Canmore, which is just outside of BC. If you're not familiar with where that is, it's in the mountains, and it was an awesome weekend retreat. It was gorgeous out there, and it was just so nice to escape. And in March, also the middle of March, I was coordinating a conference for an early childhood event. And the event happened in the middle of March, and it was, whew, thank goodness it happened. I ended up falling down the flight of stairs and hurt my knee. There was kind of the blog entries about that too in there. So March was kind of eventful there. In April, I got to travel to Vancouver again with John this time for a charity auction that he was doing. So that was a fun trip that we got to take. We took the weekend and went out there, and it was after the Olympics at this point, but we got to see lots of cool things. I didn't really get a chance to explore very much when I was out there in September, so it was good to get to do it together. We went to Stanley Park and did lots of fun things. In May, we took a trip to Seattle. So that was the trip that we were planning with our couple that we spontaneously spent the Valentine's Day weekend with in Great Falls. We took a trip to Seattle with them, and we had rented a condo and spent 4 days out there. It was so awesome. And I've got a couple more days of Seattle blog entries I need to share with you. I've got a little sidetracked in the month of August with these blogs, but I need to share with them because we did some amazing things. We took in the Boeing airplane tour, or where they build the airplanes, and the Space Needle, and so many cool things. So I got to share that with you. June was full. John was gone quite a bit, and I was busy doing some work with my contracts. And at the end of June, well, I guess the beginning of July, we took a trip down to Montana with my parents for the July 1st, July 4th weekend. So that was really cool. We had been talking about taking a trip, and so we went down to Montana for the weekend. And again, we're in Whitefish, Kalispell, and it was really fun. We took in some Southern Alberta tours at the same time. In July, I took in 4 days at the Calgary Stampede. For the last 6 years, I've worked the entire 10 days, if not a little bit more, and done some event planning or coordinating with them, some facilities management. And this year, I wasn't going to do it. And I guess I got my arm twisted a little bit right before the Stampede, and I just really love it there. I love the people and the opportunity. So I took in a 4-day contract, which kind of was my fix, and it was lots of fun. And in the middle of, right after the Stampede, we went to Texas and saw our family down there, followed by BC. And then the month of August, it's just been so nice to be home. We haven't taken any crazy trips. We went to Michael Bublé. That's huge. But, wow. It's been an amazing year. In July, my nephew turned 1. So that was really cool, Sloan. And then Stella, our niece up here in Canada, she was born in May, so that was really cool. Right after we got back from Seattle, she was born. And then last July also, my sister-in-law, John's brothers, both are married in Texas, and one of them had a babe in July of last year, the same time my nephew Sloan was born, and Alexis was born 3 days after. And then in January, we had another niece born, Cheyenne. So it's been kind of a wild year with birthdays and getting to see the babes in our life grow up. So it's been an amazing year. This blog entry is getting extremely long. But thank you. Have an amazing evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.